Buenas tardes, yo soy la profesora Latel y hoy vamos a hablar de verbos. And this is the verb chart for English speakers learning Spanish. This is part 2. If you've not watched part 1, please do so before watching this one. How does the Spanish verb work? Conjugation explanation for regular present tense verbs. Present indicative. A lot of times we'll say, oh, this is present indicative. All this means is that it's the present tense in real situations because we have another tense that talks about unreal situations. Regular verbs, yes, because we have all kinds of different types of verbs in Spanish and they act differently. Regular verbs conjugate or change the ending without changing the stem. But before we move on, let's talk about the parts of the Spanish verb so that last part makes sense to you. Okay, first of all, we have an infinitive when we talk about the verb. And this is the verb as you find it in the dictionary. It doesn't have any tense. It does not have a subject. And in Spanish, we have 3 types of infinitives. We have AR ending infinitives, ER ending infinitives, and IR ending infinitives. The parts of the infinitive. We have the endings, as we just stated, AR, ER, and IR. And then we also have the stem or the base of the verb in green. So when we look at the chart, we can see we put the infinitive at the top, and it says verb, and then it has the endings. Spanish verbs include the subject at the end of the verb and it's attached. Unlike in English where we have 2 words, the subject comes before the verb. So in English I say, I speak, but in Spanish it's speak I, and it would be 1 word. So you can see it's kind of like verb plus the I. Same thing, verb plus the we, verb plus the you, verb plus you. But these endings are not the English endings, obviously. So if we look at an AR ending verb, a regular AR ending verb in Spanish, we have the stem, the base, and we have the AR ending. What we're going to do to conjugate it or give it a tense, in this case present tense, and a person or a subject, in this case I for the first one on the yellow row on the left-hand side, if we take off the AR, we add an O, that means I am doing the verb or I do the verb. Same thing, AMOS, amos, you take off the AR of the infinitive and add amos, and it means we, whatever the verb is. For you, we actually have 4 U's, and you'll have to look at the video about the 4 U's in Spanish, but it's either the verb, take off the AR ending, add an AS or an A if you're speaking to one person, and that will depend if it's informal or formal. And if you're talking to a group of people directly to them, you would either use ICE or UN, depending on whether it's informal or formal or where you are in the Hispanic world. If you're talking about a female, a male, or a thing, you take off the AR verb and you add an A to the ending. If you're talking about many people or many things, you take off the AR and add AN. But this is just the beginning. Watch subsequent videos for more information about conjugation, how it works, and the difference between the conjugation or the endings of Spanish verbs. Adios!